Hey everyone, welcome to today's masterclass on AI-powered SEO. I'm Sam, founder of RightSonic, and today we are going to demonstrate how AI agents can transform your entire SEO workflow from technical and content audits to content creation and everything in between. So we'll just get right into it. We'll start first of all with audit because that's the first thing most businesses do. All right. So hopefully you can see my screen. The very first thing for any business, any team that is looking to start with SEO or are already into SEO, the very first thing is audit. Now you might have done this on Ahrefs or Screaming Frog and a bunch of other tools, but the main problem there is that many of those issues you don't know how to fix, and it's always there's like a dependence on a developer there. So you have to always wait for the developer send a list of issues to them, and then the developer will fix those. And there's a lot of back and forth that happens. So that is something that we'll try to cover today, how you can resolve those quickly and also ensure that you, even if you don't have any coding experience, you are able to implement those fixes without any coding needed. So I've already set up a domain here. If you already have a project on RightSonic, um, you can just get started with our audit. If you see on the sidebar, there's a site audit tab here. If you're just getting started, this is what it would look like. You might need to create a project if you don't already have a project. But yeah, once you have a project, all you need to do is enter your website URL here. It might also be pre-filled if you already have a project, and then just click the continue button. It will show you a list of pages that it has scraped. From that, you can filter if you want to remove any pages and then just click on start audit. I'm skipping that part here because that usually takes a couple of minutes depending on the size of your website, like how many pages you have on your website. Once the audit completes, you'll see a UI like this, which is where you'll have your domain. In this case, I'm testing it on tldrthis.com. This is like an AI summarization tool. So we are just going to, for the rest of this webinar, talk about this domain and do certain experiments on this domain. So if you see here, it has a score of 68 out of 100. That's our site health score. And it also gives certain metrics around domain rating, organic traffic, backlinks, and so on. And then below that, you have a bunch of issues of different types like content quality, you have indexable content, security, performance, technical SEO. So a bunch of different kinds of issues. You can also navigate them from here. And for each of those issues, you can also see like the level of that issue. Is it like a critical issue? Is it a warning? Or is it like a low priority issue? So accordingly, you can prioritize the issues which are red or high priority ones. And then after that, go to warnings and then go for low priority ones. So low priority ones are the ones which are like this gray circle. And medium priority ones are with warning, which is like a yellow orange icon. And then there's also critical one, which is not here because we've already fixed some of them. But yeah, you'll see a list like this depending on your website. Now, many of these issues, you can just, of course, go inside. It will load some details like what kind of issue it is, how you can fix it. So there's also a how to fix it thing here. And then a list of pages where that issue is present. And you can also, of course, navigate between different issues from here. But the real key sort of advantage here is using AI agents to fix these. Of course, you don't have a developer at hand always. And even if you have a developer, there's usually a lot of back and forth that happens there. So there are many issue types where you'll find this fix with AI button. This is what it is using is like internally using our AI agents in the background to help you with automatically coming up with fixes. And with one click, it can apply it to your website. So for example, let's say I have one here which says meta description too short. So I have 8 pages where the meta description is too short. I'll just click the fix with AI button. This will load all of those issues. Now, if you see for each of those, it is presenting me the current meta description, which is less than the, let's say the suggested Google guidelines, which is like some 160 characters. So all I need to do to fix these is click on generate AI suggestions. Now our agent will go in the background. It will scrape each of these pages And based on the content that it learns from each of these pages, it will then sort of create the optimized meta description for you here. This is not like a traditional tool where it's just randomly making stuff up. This is based on like the agent actually going to this page, scraping it, understanding the intent, the keywords, and then actually writing your description here, right? And of course, for any of these, you can edit them as needed. And once you're happy with it, there's apply fix button. Before you apply fix, actually, there's one more thing that you need to do. So on the top here, there's a button where you just once you need to install the script on your website, depending on which website you are on, like what is the framework that you're using. Most probably, most people use WordPress or Webflow. But yeah, you can just click on it. It will give you some instructions. Only the first time you need to install this in the head section of your website. So it applies to all the pages across your website. Once you have done that, then all you need to do is just go to the different issues where there's a fix with AI button, and just click on save or reject, depending on whether you want to accept that change or not. And as I mentioned, if you're happy with all of these, you can quickly skim through these. If you're happy with all of these, you can just click apply all fixes, and in like one click, it will apply all of these changes to your website. If you are not happy with any of them, you can, of course, come here, make changes, and then click save and apply. And this is totally safe. So at any point, if you think that this is not working or it's not great, you can edit it, or you can also, reject it as well. And you can also undo the fixes if you find any issues there. In most cases, there are no issues. But yeah, if for any reason, if you find anything there. And just to explain in a little bit more detail how this works is it doesn't depend on what CMS or what platform you're using. So it doesn't really matter whether you're using WordPress or Wix or your own custom website. What we do is there's like a script that gets added on top of your website, sort of like a middleware layer. And it acts as a proxy between Google and your website. So basically, even though directly in your CMS, that value might not be updated. Like in this case, let's say this meta description, but still Google, when the Google spider comes and crawls your website, it will see the updated description because of the script that is applied there. So you don't need to touch anything. You just need to, accept or reject, and it would apply those automatically. And Google will index the updated descriptions or updated fixes there. Similarly, you can also go to, by the way, this review issues view. So in the sidebar, there's an audit report. And then there's also this review issues view. This gives you a little bit better view. How many active issues are there, pages affected, and so on. And similarly, for various other kinds of items, also you can go and click on fix with AI, like, no schema markup found. So it will automatically generate schema markup for you, or invalid schema, OG graph tags. So all of these things, there's a lot of different kinds of issues that can fix. Of course, depending also on your website. So in this case, we only had like not a lot of pages on this website. Yeah, only 28 pages. But if you have more pages, it will give you even more comprehensive results there. So that's the audit. You first identify those issues, and then with the AI agent itself, many of those on-page issues you can directly fix just by installing a script once. Similarly, we are also extending it to some of these other issue types as well, which will be coming up soon. So that was audit. Next, we'll jump into the next bit right after you fix the technical and on-page issues, which is basically coming up with like content strategy, the content for your website. And before even that, you need to sort of work on like the competitor analysis to analyze what is working in the market so that you can learn from them and use the best learnings from there to your advantage. So I'm here again on the dashboard page. If you want a bigger view, you can also click on this ChatSonic AI agent. It will give you this bigger, more cleaner view. And I'll try a couple of different prompts, which again, as a business or as a marketing team or marketing person, you would do for any kind of website, whether it's a new website or an old website. And there's like a flow to it in terms of how that whole SEO and content marketing flow works end to end. So we'll just follow that flow. Of course, the prompts I'm writing here are just something I just came up with based on some experiments that we want to do here. But you can feel free to write anything that you want. And this is our agent. So this is not like ChatGPT, which hallucinates keyword data and any kind of marketing information. It actually connects to the tools that you already use. So if you see here, I'll click on this banner. It automatically integrates with all of these different tools: Ahrefs, SEMrush, Keywords Everywhere, Right Sonic, of course. Search Console also you can connect directly with. Then Social Sonic, which is our AI LinkedIn tool. And then there are some other tools in the background as well, like Google Keyword Planner and Reddit, Google Trends, and so on. So once you sort of come to this page, you'll see all of these are automatically connected. You don't need to get any subscription for these tools. All you need is Sonic. We automatically connect to their APIs in the background. So you don't need to pay anything for the subscriptions of Ahrefs, SEMrush, or any of these other tools. We automatically handle it. It's just one subscription of Sonic gives you access to all of this. And yeah, then you just need to come here in the input box and just write your query. We have a couple of different agents: SEO agent, content agent, LinkedIn agent. But you don't have to worry about that. You can just leave it on auto mode. We'll automatically pick the right agent, whether it is SEO agent, whether it is content agent, or a mix or combination of both. And it will automatically pick the right agent for that job and do it for you. Also, you'll see a bunch of prompts that are already available here. So if you want, you can try out some of these prompts as well, or write your own as well. So what I'll do is, very first thing, I have a couple of prompts already ready. So first I'll start with a competitor analysis. So I've written here: identify our top 3 competitors for tldrthis.com. As I mentioned, we'll be testing it on TLDR this website in the text summarization tool space and analyze their content and backlink strategies. So basically, I'm doing an in-depth competitor analysis here, where it will review the content, backlink, and overall SEO strategies of the competitors of TLDR. In this case, I'm asking it to automatically identify my organic competitors. But if you already know who your competitors are, you can very well just say something like top 3 competitors. You don't need to basically mention identify our top 3 competitors. You can just say these are our top 3 competitors, give the links. And now you need to sort of analyze their content and backlink strategies for me. So yeah, that's that. I'll just hit the send button. This will take a couple of seconds. So I'll just quickly walk you through a couple of things, and then I'll just run 2, 3 other prompts in parallel just to save us time. So very first thing it does here, if you see, is it does a reasoning. So it thinks just like a human or a 10-year experienced SEO person will think. So in this case, it says, let me break down what you're looking for. It comes up with an approach. Like first, I'll identify who the actual competitors are, and then I'll check certain things. So basically, based on that thought that it did, it then came up with this plan where it will first identify the top 3 competitors using our Ahrefs and Google integrations. Then it will analyze the competitors' organic strategy. So it's going through all those 3 competitors it identified, and it's doing like a keyword strategy analysis, backlink analysis, on-page analysis. And then based on all of those different data points, it will then come up with certain findings for us and also the action points that we should leverage. So this is our agent. It works in a very agentic manner, just like how an SEO expert would work. And as I mentioned before, it connects to the tools that you already use. So every data point that you see here is backed by actual data that is coming from either Ahrefs or SEMrush. You can choose which tool you want as a default, or things like Google Keyword Planner as well. So I'll let it do its thing. It takes a couple of seconds. It's doing all of these different things. In the meanwhile, I'll just open a new tab and I'll maybe add one more prompt. Let's say I'll do a keyword research and a content gap analysis. So in this case, I'm saying compare TLDR this.com's keyword profile with our top competitors. Again, I've not mentioned the competitors here. You can mention if you want. And then identify the high potential keyword opportunities we are missing, focusing on terms related to text summarization, content shortening, and research efficiency with high volume and moderate difficulty. You can also, of course, go for high volume, low difficulty, or mid volume and mid difficulty as well. But yeah, that's my second step. After the competitor analysis, I want to actually understand the key terms or keywords that I should be focusing on. So I'll just send this also just to save time. Let's just see what's happening with our initial one. So it did all of this analysis, if you see, for each of those competitors, it went through all of these details, even backlink analysis it did. And by the way, as I mentioned, you can, if you want, you can expand on any of these areas and just see the full report as well. So in this case, for all the 4 domains, our domain and the 3 competitors it identified, it has listed out, the top backlinks, referring domains, domain rating, all those things. You can check all of these out. There are a lot of different data points here, right? So you can check for each of them, how many backlinks they have, the referring domains, and so on. Same thing for keyword research and all those things as well. And one other thing here, before writing this final output, where it says output, if you see, this is the final output, the list of action items. Before coming to that, it also gives you a findings report as well. So findings report basically, okay, there's some issue here, but findings report basically tells you all of these different data points that it compiled, similar to how an SEO expert compiles all those data points from different sources, different tools inside an Excel spreadsheet. So that's exactly how it does, but in a little bit more like agentic manner. So yeah, it's doing its thing. Let's wait for it to finish off. I'll just start from the top. So our initial query was, of course, identify the top 3 competitors, organic competitors, like which are ranking on Google, and then analyze their content and backlink strategies. So based on all this research, keyword research, web research, all that, these are the 3 competitors that it identified, smmry.com, and then these 2 other ones. And it mentioned how it went through to understand the competitive landscape. And then it gave a summarization, like a summary table here. What is the primary specialization? Like, for example, this SMMRY focuses on website summarization, whereas this other one focuses on research paper, as you can tell by the name itself. This other one focuses on document summarization. So it gives like a sort of like a competitor market positioning. Then for each of those competitors, it analyzed like this SMMRY ranks highly for terms like website summarizer, summarize a website, position 2 for both of these, website summary generator, then analyzes some patterns in their keyword strategy. So ranks well regardless of how users phrase their needs, all of this. And then similarly, backlink strategy analysis it has also done. And then on-page SEO approach, couple of different points it has mentioned. Same for this saisummary.com, charlie.ai. And then based on that, for backlink acquisition strategy, it mentions that what are the common domains that are linking to each of these competitors. So in this case, it mentioned that all of these 5 are linking to all the 3 competitors, or at least 2 of those competitors. So we should also probably reach out to these companies to give us a backlink as well, because that's like a common domain that's linking to these. And then it has mentioned things like what are the common anchored text strategies, link building opportunities that already covered, and then what are the key takeaways and strategic implications. So these are the list of action points that you can go through and employ on your website. And of course, the more specific your prompt is, because I just asked it to analyze the strategies, but the more specific your prompt is, like if you're looking for certain topics or tool pages or certain kinds of blog content, then you just specify that here and it will give you more specific outputs there. So that was the first bit. Now let's jump on to the second bit, where we asked it to compare our keyword profile with the top competitors and identify some high potential keyword opportunities. So if you see here, it first went through the organic competitors like before. It did, it checked the current keyword profile as well. Okay, so there's some loading issue on my side. Let me refresh it. Yeah. So it first of all, for our own website, it checked the current keyword profile. What are we ranking for? What is the best position URL, like the different pages that are getting ranked. And then same thing, it is checking for all of those different websites like SMMRY. It even found some new ones, Scholarcy or summarizer.org. Then it did some keyword metrics. And then it also analyzed the SERP overview for different terms, text summarizer, AI summarizer, all of these terms. It's checking the SERP landscape. which lists down the SERP features and also the top results there, as well as the top keyword and DR as well. Based on all of these, of course, these things that I just showed under the research card, you don't need to specifically go through those. Those are just for reference. If you want, you can, but those are just for reference. If you just care about the final output, you can very well just come here and go through this report. So in this case, it has checked our current keyword performance, like we saw before, like which are the best positions for us, best keywords for us. And then it checked competitor analysis, did competitor analysis there that, okay, summarizer.org ranks for position 1 for summarizer or position 3 for summarize and so on. And then it identified these high potential opportunities, which are high volume keywords with ranking potential, and also the difficulty, because I asked for high search volume and moderate difficulty. So it mentioned, like, let's say text summarizer, not in top positions, AI summarizer, position 12. So all of these it mentioned. And then low difficulty, high potential keywords, which have a difficulty in this case of 5. Secondary keywords for building topical authority. And then some strategic recommendations, like the low hanging fruit here is to optimize for summarized PDF, like build a dedicated landing page for summarized PDF, and gave like a structure for that, how our PDF summarizer works, features, use cases. Similarly, then it mentioned improve rankings for text summarizer. So it asked to create an enhanced landing page at this URL with these changes. And then close the gap on AI summarizer. So again, a lot of different action points here. Mimic competitor strategy for low DR competitors. You can go through each of these, see which ones make sense. And of course, as I mentioned before, the more specific your prompt, the better outputs you'll get. Just like if you ask the right questions to an expert, they'll tell you the specific right answers. So it really comes down to that. Yeah, so far we have done 2 things or 3 things. Audit, we did competitor analysis, and then we identified certain keyword opportunities based on some keyword research and gap analysis. Next, what we'll do is we'll try to create some topic clusters, because that's like the next bit where before writing any new content, we first need to identify what all topics we'll be writing about and what would the cluster look like. So I'll write a prompt here, which is like create a comprehensive topic cluster strategy around, and then I'm mentioning this keyword here, AI text summarization, and include the pillar ideas and the supporting subtopics that can help us establish topical authority in this niche. So let's send it out. And while it is doing its thing, I'll run a few more. So the very next thing, once our content brief gets ready, would be to create once our clusters get ready would be to create a content brief. So I'll also write a prompt, which is something like generate me a detailed content brief for a new article targeting this keyword, which is best AI tools for students, including the recommended heading, semantic keywords, internal linking opportunities, and content structure. So let's also send this out. Once our clusters and our content brief is ready, right after the content brief, then we'll ask it to also create the final article for us. But for now, let's just see what it does here. So again, it did some reasoning. It mentioned how it will approach it. First, it will understand the complete keyword landscape around this keyword. Then it will go through the competitive landscape, and then it will organize all of that information and infer certain insights out of it. So in this case, we asked it to create topic clusters. So what it is doing is identifying those different keywords. For each of those keywords, it is checking the SERP landscape and also like the SERP features as well. This is for United States, by the way. Also, one thing I forgot to tell earlier, by default, this uses the US as the default region. So if you want to, let's say, focus on local SEO or certain other region, just in the prompt itself, you can say that for UK or for India or for whatever region that you want to focus on. So as long as you mention it in the prompt, it will always do it for that region rather than going to US. And the other thing, as I also mentioned, was if you go to the integrations tab here, there's a tool preferences. So if you are a SEMrush person, you can go for SEMrush. If you're Ahrefs, you can go for that. Both of those are supported. You don't need to pay extra for any of them. So just pick whichever one you are more familiar with in terms of those different data points, and it will, from next time onwards, it will use that as the default data source. So this will take some time because it does a very in-depth analysis around different keywords, goes through like thousands of keywords and then creates like topic clusters out of it. So it will take some time. It actually started. Yeah. So this is the research findings report, which I was talking about earlier, by the way. This basically, it's like an intermediate report, just like how an SEO person would do a spreadsheet just to compile all the information. This is not the final report. It's just like the intermediate step just for you to see how the AI is thinking through things. And yeah, after this, it will then start generating the final output. Okay, while it is doing its thing, let's check how the second thing is going. So here we had asked about the content brief for the keyword best AI tools for students, and then recommendations on headings and all those kinds of things. So if you see here, it has, again, for here also, it has created this keyword research, five best AI tools for students, best AI tools for students, AI plagiarism checker, because these are all tools which, these are all the keywords that people search for. The best AI tools for students like ChatGPT and so on. So a bunch of keywords it went through, matching terms, long tail keywords, branded keywords, and so on. And then there's also a page here, if you see, it's called topic clusters. So it created a couple of different clusters. For each of those clusters, you can also see the pillar page and the supporting pages as well. So different ones, best AI tools for students, best AI tools for writing, study AI, and so on. And then it also checked the SERP landscape. Now, this is the crazy part. If you remember how ChatGPT does deep research, deep web research, the agent also does it here. So in this case, because it wanted to do research before it writes a content brief, because first it needs to understand what are the top ranking articles and what is the kind of content and structure that they've written. So in this case, it went through all of these different queries. It went through all of these different websites, checked like the structure, the word count, all of those different kinds of things. Then it identified some internal linking opportunities, content writing best practices. It knew that, okay, these are certain best practices. And then finally, it created our content brief for us here. So very comprehensive brief. First, it talks about the topic, which is best AI tools for students, the ultimate guide for academic success. Then it lists down some of the primary keywords. Again, you can pick which one you want from here. It has given you the volume and everything. Secondary keywords, and then overview of the article, target audience, college students, university students, high school students, and so on. Introduction, what you should cover, hook readers with a relatable student scenario, include the statistic. This also it came up based on research that 83% of educators believe AI will impact learning. So all of these different things came from the research, and then it gives this detailed content brief for us, right? And of course, you can give a follow-up prompt here and edit it as needed. And then the next thing here is you would basically give a prompt, which would be like something like this, that write a comprehensive SEO optimized article based on the content brief above. So this brief was present there. Now I wanted to write an article based on that. And I also mentioned that it should maintain a professional educational tone and incorporate research-based facts, a couple of other things, right? Now, what this will do is it will invoke our AI article writer tool in the background. That's like the most advanced article writing product in the market. Based on these different insights it gathered, it will do a bunch of things. It will identify the competitors again. It will do a little bit more research. It will understand the brand tone, all of these kinds of things. And then it will sort of start with creating the article. So it will, before it creates the article, it will ask us one or two things just to confirm the outline and all those things. Okay. While this is doing its thing, I'll just jump to the previous tab. So we had asked it for the topic cluster strategy for the keyword AI text summarization. So this is what it has come up with. The different keywords to focus on: business potential. Of course, because business potential is very important before you even write a blog. And then the recommended topic cluster structure. So it has mentioned all of these different ones, different clusters here. And then for each cluster, it goes into details. Like the pillar page here should be AI text summarization tool. What should be the content type? In this case, should be a tool or a tool page, basically showcasing the core summarization functionality, supporting content for that. So a lot of different supporting content and their outlines also it has given. Then cluster 2, focus on AI document processing, right? Same thing here, AI Word document summarizer, AI legal document summarizer. Then article specific cluster, which is around AI article summarizer, best AI scholarly article summarizers, website article summarizer, journal article summarizer, and so on. Then summary generator is another cluster. So like that, you get a bunch of clusters based on all the research it did. It also gives certain suggestions around the internal links, like which pages to link to, what keywords to link to, and few other things. So you can go in detail and then go from there. Now, our article writer, so yeah, it just takes a confirmation whether you want to generate using the agent directly or you want to use our article writer 6. Article writer 6 is like the most advanced one, so I'll just go with that. So it will come up with like a more refined outline. Once we confirm it, you can also edit that outline, by the way, and then it will start writing the full article there. So it's doing its thing. And like one last prompt I'll try while it is generating this outline, which is like a content optimization use case. So now we have done audit, we have done competitor analysis, we have done keyword research and gap analysis, clusters. We created content brief for a specific topic. And then we also are working on the article. Next thing is, let's say if you already have some existing content, how do you optimize that? So that is what we'll try to do here in this specific prompt. So I'm saying the blog, I've given it the link of that blog on research and recommendation research topic currently ranks number 29. And then I've asked it to analyze the content against the top 3 ranking pages for that keyword and suggest improvements to help me move into the top 3 results. So let's send that out. This is more like a content optimization use case rather than writing it from scratch. So it will come up with certain insights that you can then either ask the AI to rewrite your article, or you can manually also rewrite it as needed. And while it is doing that, it has given this very comprehensive outline. But yeah, if you see, it has not mentioned TLDR this here. So what I'll ask it to do is I'll just click on edit with AI and I'll ask it the first tool mentioned in the outline should be TLDR less. So this will sort of rewrite that outline based on the suggestion I provided. You can give any other suggestions also that, okay, you missed this keyword, write this keyword also, or make it more funny or something. You can change the tone, you can reduce the number of headings, all those kinds of things. So just like a follow-up instruction that you need to give there. And yeah, if you see, it has added TLDR this at the top now, and then all the rest of the other ones around various other things. Once you're happy with the outline, just click on generate article. And this will start writing a very comprehensive article. So it's like a sort of like a 10-step process. It first gets real-time data around keywords, which it already got. Then it does in-depth web research. So you'll see it goes through a bunch of different pages which are ranking on Google. So it goes through a bunch of them, creates a knowledge graph out of it. It will check all the facts. It will cite everything. Then it will ensure that it matches the word length based on what is ranking in the top few SERP results. So let's say if the common trend is for 2000 word article for that topic, it will try to exceed it a bit just so that it can add more value there. It will also check competitors, add some quotes also for EEAT, for that expertise and authority, it will add some quotes that will find again on the web related to AI summarization. And then it will do certain other tweaks around brand voice and a few other SEO things like keywords. And then it will give you the final output. So it takes about 5 minutes, but you can already see it's doing a lot of different, like researching across different pages, going through all of these different checkpoints, and then it will start writing the article for us. This one takes time because it writes every section, it does a lot of research for every individual section and then sort of writes it one by one and ensures the flow is properly there. So it might take up to a couple of minutes, but the result would be much, much better than what you would get from something like ChatGPT or Claude for that matter, because it does a lot of steps or a lot of work in between there. While it is doing its thing, let's again quickly jump back to our other prompt, which was the content optimization one. So in this case, what it is doing is it analyzed our current keyword rankings for this page. So it couldn't see that was ranking anywhere because it goes with US. So US probably it's not ranking anywhere. It identifies top 3 competitors. So it went through what are the pages which are ranking for it. If you see, some of those are actually people also asked questions. So those are some SERP features. And then you have some of these other ones. Analyze content of our page as well as the top competitors. So it went through our blog. It went through those top 3 articles, which was Enego, Scribber, and this researcher.life. Then it is doing a technical SEO audit, because that is also an important factor for ranking. Certain EAT factors for each of the pages, backlink profiles. So for us, we don't have any backlinks because it's not ranking. But for Scribber and all of these other ones, they do have a lot of backlinks. So Bing and proofed.co.uk and so on. Yeah. And yeah, based on all of these different things, then it created this final output doc, which is like current performance, no organic keywords or organic traffic in the US. Domain rating is 57. Top competitors, of course, it got from there. Content structure comparison, it did across all of these different, so it does like a proper content gap analysis there. So your page, it says like our page, visual elements, minimal, real world examples, limited, whereas competitors have added tables, charts, all those kinds of things. It actually goes through each page and actually also analyzes it visually actually. And then readability, in terms of technical SEO, readability score is very low, multiple H1 tags, all of these issues that are identified. And then also for EAT, it did some analysis that while the author name is mentioned, there's no detailed bio establishing expertise. And this you can actually verify. So if you go to that page, actually we are missing a bio there. It just has the name of the writer. And then lack of real world experience examples, no case studies. So it's basically not passing many of these EAT factors. And then backlink profiles also it went through. And then basically it gives the actionable recommendations, that content structure, what we should do to optimize it. So all of these different points with research and common questions, FAQs, checklist, and then real world examples. It gave some more context there. Technical SEO improvements, ensure only one H1 tag is present. Aim for a score of at least 50. So a lot of different things it mentioned. Implement, people also asked questions, these ones. Backlink strategy, it mentioned to go for reach out to proofed.com and few other ones. So very comprehensive analysis here. You can go through those suggestions and either just give a follow-up prompt here that, okay, now update my article like this, or you can also do it yourself as well. And yeah, just again, jumping back to our article. So this is the article, it's still writing it. But one thing you'll notice is it's writing this article. The writing style you'll see is very good. It does not feel AI. It's very human-like, both for Google and also for a human who reads it as well. And for each of those products, it actually also added screenshots and also gave an image source. So that's another cool thing where it actually adds screenshots. It does research. it adds citations. Citations will appear towards the end. So it will cite every important information or every factual information that it came through and added. Similarly, for Grammarly, it has added images and all these different pricing and all these kind of information. So very comprehensive article. Yeah, we'll let it write. And once it's done, you can very well just edit it here itself. And then you can also just directly publish from here to directly your WordPress site or any other platforms you use through our integrations as well. So yeah, I think that was it for the this part of today's webinar. So we covered a couple of things. We went through auditing and how you can fix things with AI agents without needing to do all those things manually. And then we went through a couple of different parts of the SEO and content workflow. So we started with competitor analysis, keyword research and gap analysis, topic clusters we created. Then we did a content brief article, which we are generating right now, and then also optimization for an existing blog. So these were just some examples. Rest, as I mentioned, you can type in any prompt, any kind of query that you would ask your SEO agency or an SEO expert. You can do that here. It would save you a ton of time because it's doing all of these things automatically. Of course, human in the loop approach is recommended, where some human operates this, make sure everything is checked and verified, and then implements this. But already we are seeing businesses and companies, agencies saving a ton of time here. So that was it for this specific one. We'll now be taking on any FAQs, like any questions people have, which if those have not been already answered by our team. And also before you drop off, there's also next webinar we'll be doing potentially next week will be about generative engine optimization. So it's a very detailed webinar on how you can track the brand presence, like how your brand is represented in different AI models. And then also at the same time, you'll be able to get actionable suggestions in terms of how you can optimize your blog or your content and your site so that it performs and ranks on AI search engines like ChatGPT, Google AI overviews, and so on. So we'll be sending an email and social media communications around that very soon. So keep an eye out on that. And yeah, we'll be taking any quick sort of questions if we still have any in our Q&A section. Okay, so I think our team has already covered almost all of them. Can Writesonic help with complex page schema recast? Yeah, so Rick, like you just need to, if you're talking about generating a new schema, yeah, you can just give the link of the page here and ask it to create that schema for you. It will automatically suggest also which schema you should go for, and it will create that also for you that you can just copy paste onto your website. And if you want to also optimize any schemas, that is also there. So you can just give the URL. I think will be able to scrape your current schemas, but if not, you can just copy paste that schema, paste it here, and ask it to optimize it based on the best practices there. I haven't received the recording for webinar, ranking your content in the AI age. Right, so this is available, Juhi, this is available on our YouTube channel. So if you just go to Writesonic's YouTube channel, probably the second or third video you'll find that's about that is the recording that is available there. So you can find it there. Our team can also probably paste a link here if we have it at hand. Someone mentioned, would this integration with WordPress cause Google and the search engines to flag our site in some negative way, seeing that Writesonic is used to create an article? Question from Red. No, it does. It is not going to flag you. It doesn't. In fact, integration doesn't have any impact as such. Nor does the content. As I showed you, all the content is very human. And specifically, I mentioned it does make sure that everything is factually cited. It is adding value to the user, and the EE80 thing passes. So all of the expertise, authority, and all of those factors pass. So I don't think you have to worry about that. I think we also have a specific blog on this that we recently wrote. You can also go through that. I'll just share the link. Yeah, this one. So we wrote a very comprehensive guide on this. You can you can go through this. So this blog, we have answered all the things around the usual questions people have. Will Google penalize my site and all those kinds of things? So you can just go through this. Victor Chauhan, once issue fixes have been implemented, are we able to request Google to recrawl the site via RightSonic? We are very soon coming up with this thing called Index Now integration. So it's not available yet, but that is coming up very soon, and that will allow you to either automatically or based on your manual action, it can submit it to Google again for reindexing. But the other thing here also is that because all of these things are updated and Google crawler sort of keeps crawling the websites every day or 2 days. So most probably in a day or so, it will discover your website anyway. Or you can just go to Search Engine Console and just resubmit that URL to Google for reindexing as well. How do you get copy to not sound like an AI? I check all the content, always picks up as 100% AI written. What prompt did you use? This one, we didn't use any prompt. This is basically article writer if you're using. See, our focus, and you can also go through this blog as well. Our focus is not to bypass some of those AI text detection tools like copy leaks and all of those kinds of things. We don't trust on those. Those are just like made up things. Many of our own blogs, if you check Ahrefs or anywhere, are ranking and also same for our competitors, for our, sorry, clients as well. So whether it is detected as AI or not doesn't matter as long as it is adding value. All the EEAT and all those checks are being passed. Google's clear guidelines are that if it provides value and gives something to the user, it doesn't matter whether it is written fully by AI or half by AI or fully by human. So that should not matter there. And we can share certain case studies and stuff here as well if needed. Can RightSonic be integrated with tools like N8 using your API? We do have API, not for the latest features, some of the things like our article writer or our agent. But our whole goal with this agent here is to save you time so that you don't have to build all those nodes and all those workflows on N8 and manually. So N8 and of course, people who are very technical are able to do things there, but our goal is that you just describe it in natural language and it will automatically create all of these things for you and do the research and everything for you. And also we are already providing the integrations with Ahrefs, SEMrush and all those. So I don't think it matters. And that's why we have not prioritized certain newer things in the API for it to be added with N8 because that's not what we are solving for. We want it to be as user friendly as possible, just like people work with ChatGPT. Have you tested any content against tools like writer.ai that checks for human writing? Again, as I just mentioned before, many of those tools, it will get passed, it won't detect AI. Some of those tools, it will detect as AI. But as I mentioned, we have case studies where, for example, I can also find some of these. Like this is one of our clients, let's say tastytoursnyc.com. They've written on various topics, and we have other case studies as well. They're ranking for multiple keywords. You can check it on Ahrefs. And these are fully written by RightSonic with, of course, with images and all these things added. So we always recommend that you still do certain final tweaks, adding certain links or adding images and those kinds of things. But these were fully written by RightSonic, and you can see it will still detect as AI in those tools, but it won't affect the ranking. It is still ranking for many keywords. From the EU, all research websites need cookie consent. So is the tool not usable for EU users as far as the search is being concerned? This one probably our technical team can answer better, but the way our scraper works is very similar to how Ahrefs or Google and any of those work. So the same kind of guidelines also apply here. So, but yeah, our technical team can cover it better. So we don't need to integrate to our SEMrush tool from our side. No, so as I mentioned, these integrations here, if you go, these are all available out of the box. You don't need to pay for anything if you are using RightSonic. we automatically integrate with these tools in the background. So yeah, you don't need to pay for those subscriptions or APIs or anything as such. We'll just take last one or two questions and then we'll wrap it up. Could it be possible to use more than 5 PDF documents for articles in Article Writer 6 in the future? So we are actually coming up with, first of all, I think our team can answer. Currently also, I think it should allow you to add multiple documents, but our team can answer on that. But there's a new version we are coming up with, Article Writer 7, very soon. That will allow you 100%. In fact, in the chat itself, you can just upload a bunch of documents and it will be able to use those documents and create the response for you, create the article for you. Some of the SEO title descriptions and meta descriptions are longer than the required word count allowed. Sometimes it might do that because LLMs, it's a little bit hard to control the word count. But if you're directly generating SEO, titles and descriptions here, it will use our content agent instead of our SEO agent. So if you use our content agent directly, it follows all the best practices and guidelines there. Like for example, if you do Google Ads for that matter, the title will always be within 30 characters, description would be 90 characters. So all of those things would pass here if we use our content agent. So it just depends on the thing. So if you can just explicitly say that I want content or this title or description, it will follow the guidelines much better because it uses our content agent in the background. The most important question of the evening, any discount coupons? Yeah, so we'll be sending out an email probably tomorrow with the webinar recording, certain resources, and also a discount coupon. So that coupon will be valid for like 72 hours. So feel free to use that coupon to get additional discount there. Okay, cool. I think so we have covered almost all the questions. That would be it for this webinar. As I mentioned, first of all, thanks a lot for listening and staying towards the end. And there is a new webinar, two new webinars we'll be doing. One on generative engine optimization, like how you can actually rank in AI search, and also about a little bit more comprehensive ones on AI agents, like how you can also build certain agents using some other tools, as well as certain best like common agents that you should be using as part of your SEO or marketing workflows. So those two webinars would be coming up very soon. So keep an eye out on that in terms of our social media and also emails. And yeah, until then, thanks a lot for watching and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.